Hello, friends, and welcome to my today's lecture that is on Antonio's character sketch in A Merchant of Venice by William Shakespeare. Antonio in the play A Merchant of Venice by Shakespeare is a title character. He's a middle aged bachelor and a rich businessman, or a merchant who has his financial interest tied up in overseas shipment when the play begins. Friends, I've already discussed about the various character sketches of Portia, Bassanio, and Shylock, who are all related to the play as a central characters. But among all of them, Antonio is at the core of the play. Now, in the play, Antonio has been portrayed as a very kind, generous, honest, and a confident person who is loved and revered or respected by all the Christians who know him. Now, there are certain characteristic traits in Antonio, as we all also have them, which distinguish him from the other characters. Now, talking about the characteristics in Antonio, we find that Antonio, among the first, as a first trait, we would say Antonio is a melancholy character by temperament. Now, as we have already seen in the introduction, that Antonio is a wealthy merchant in the city of Venice who commands great respect by all. And in the beginning, when he is introduced to us, the very first words that Antonio utters is in quotes, in sooth, I know not why I am so sad, unquote. Now, Antonio is in a very melancholy mood, and his friends ask him the reason behind this mood of his, and they even suggest maybe it's because his ships have gone overseas and they have not yet returned, and maybe he's worried for his ships, and that has made him in a melancholy state. But Antonio refuses, saying that this temperament of his is very natural to him and it is something inborn within him. And then again, he says in quotes, I hold the world, but as the world, Gratiano, a stage where every man must play a part, and mine a sad one, unquote. He very clearly makes it a point that all people in this world are merely characters. They are merely actors. And this whole world is like a stage where we all come, play our parts, and go back. And he says, my part is a sad one. So we see that melancholy acts as an integral part of Antonio's character. Now, in the second place, we see that Antonio has a profound affection for Bassanio. Now, he has a great capacity for friendship, and his affection is well known. Affection for Bassanio is very well known. Now, the relationship or the friendship that Antonio and Bassanio share, it has been idealized and glorified by Shakespeare. And while we read through the play, we also read that Bassanio, he has already taken a loan from Antonio, and which he has not yet repaid. And now again, he wants money badly to woo his lady love, Portia, and so again he asks Antonio for a loan. Now, Antonio, though we know that he doesn't have any cash with him in right now in his hand, basically because he's waiting for the ships to come, and his ships have gone overseas. So he knows that he is unable to lend money to Bassanio, and he sends him to Shylock because he doesn't wish to say no to his friends. So Shylock, we know, is a professional money lender, and Antonio sends Bassanio to Shylock to take a loan on his own behalf. Now Bassanio, he goes and meets Shylock, who's a Jew, as we all know. Shylock is a Jew and a professional money lender, and he asks a loan of 3,000 ducats, and in Antonio's name. And we see that Shylock first refuses to give him a loan, saying that Antonio is his enemy and Antonio has troubled him a lot and he doesn't wish to. But later on, he agrees and puts a very dangerous clause or a condition in this. But in spite of that, Antonio, he signs the bond regardless of the danger implied by the clause. Now, the clause talked about taking a pound of flesh from Antonio's body nearby his heart if Antonio fails to repay the loan within a period of 3 months. Now, in spite of such difficult clause, Antonio willingly signs the bond so that his friend Bassanio's needs are meted out. That shows how much Antonio loves Bassanio, that he readily risks his life for him. Now, another characteristic that demarks Antonio is that he's a very kind-hearted and an accommodating man, because we see that Antonio, since he's kind-hearted, he lends money to the needy people and does not even charge any interest from them. And if we see Antonio's character in this sense, it is totally in contrast to that of Shylock, who is an usurer, that is, who charges excessive rate of interest on the loan that he gives. But Shylock is a professional money lender, and he he agrees that it is his right to take interest from the people, whereas Antonio is not a professional money lender. Now, Shylock has been portrayed here as a very greedy person, and Antonio is not at all greedy. He is totally indifferent to the wealth. Now, another characteristic, a few more characteristics are there, not just one. Like Antonio's religious tolerance is there, and Antonio, many more characteristics are there, which we would be discussing in our next lecture. Till then, goodbye and thank you, friends.